Hey folks, welcome back to our Origins 2016 Summer Preview. From Columbus, Ohio, I'm Sam, you're watching the Dice Tower. This is Josh from Gray Fox Games.
Howdy.
And he's going to show us Order of the Gilded Compass. So take it away, Josh.
All right, so this is Order of the Gilded Compass. It's a re-implementation of Alia Iacta Est, which is a dice placement game.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping that this will release in time for Gen Con. These are also sent to the printer. We're cutting it really close, so we've got a pre-production copy here.
All right, cool.
The game is a dice assignment game.
Okay.
And the premise is that every player is a treasure hunter, and each of us is trying to gather the most valuable loot in order to prove our skill at our trade and get invited into the Order of the Gilded Compass, the secret society of treasure hunters.
All right, so run us through a turn.
Sure, absolutely. Every player has 8 dice.
Okay.
And every turn you will roll whichever dice you have remaining.
Okay.
And then these dice are assigned to various locations, and locations specify the rules that you can put them in, right? The archives allow you to put them in sets, and the auction house lets you put them in runs and so on.
Okay.
Some of them are single dice or pairs or whatever.
Okay.
So each of these locations has rules governing what goes there, and we'll go around the table taking turns assigning dice.
Okay.
So other players will then roll and they'll assign their stuff. Let me go ahead and pull these out. We'll keep assigning dice until one player has run out. Once one player has run out of dice, everybody gets a final turn, and then we resolve the building. So at the heart of this mechanic is something like an auction.
Okay.
Right? We're assigning our dice in a way that when the round ends, you want to have your dice in the best position, right? Two sixes is better than 2 5s, which is better than, for example, 1 6, and so on.
Yes.
So every building that's here will resolve in a way that gives you some sort of treasure or boon, right? If you go to the auction house, you're looking for specific artifacts for your personal collection.
Okay.
And if you go to the archives, you're trying to get old treasure maps and then hunt stuff down. The university allows you to get specialists, excavators, and cartographers that you can pair with your maps in order to make them more valuable.
Okay, cool.
Right? The treasure tower is this rickety old building with various treasures in it. The higher you get, the more valuable the treasure, but the more likely you also fall. Right?
All right, cool.
The Illuminati, you can recruit their help and they give you special abilities and so on.
Okay.
So the original version of Alia Iacta Est had some core buildings, and we took this and re-implemented it. Not only did we put a new theme on it, we added some new buildings and some new mechanics to add some replayability.
Very cool.
So now the majority of the buildings are double-sided. So in one game you may play with the auction house, in one game you may play with the treasure hunters guild.
Cool.
The dice will be assigned in the same way, but they'll resolve somewhat differently. You'll gain secret missions that will give you goals to score hidden victory points at the end of the game. The reverse of these buildings also shows things like the hidden temple, where you go in and try and come out with some magical item that will make your specialists more effective, or the sunken galleon, which allows you to dive for sunken treasure.
This is production artwork, right?
Yes. Yeah,
wow.
This is the final
It's really
art.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, we're pretty proud of it. We think it's really cool. So there's a ton of replayability in this game. You'll use 3 of the same buildings every time, and then the other ones will be variable. You can select them randomly. It can be based on your preference, and there's just a lot of different ways to string stuff together and get cool combos.
So do you usually have 6 buildings out? I mean, I'm seeing 6 buildings, right? 4 up here and then 2 down there?
Yep, we're actually using one extra. So the setup of the game is that these 3 buildings will be in every time. They're labeled as A buildings. B buildings, you choose one of the 2. And then we've got 4 of those C buildings, and you'll use one of those every game.
Cool.
Yep. So,
all right, that's very cool.
We also have included a nice 2 and 3 player variant in the game that we re-implemented. At 2 or 3 players, it was often a little bit lackluster, not a lot of competition. So we've developed ways for this to function at a lower player count. It has a lot more interaction, gives you a lot more options, and so it's been testing really well.
All right, so you were saying that you're shooting for Gen Con, but maybe not?
Yeah, I mean, we're really close to having it here, and we intend to have them air shipped in. So we expect to have some limited amount of copies for sale at Gen Con, and then the rest behind them for retail release in September.
And you said 2 to 4 players, right?
2 to 5.
2 to 5 players. Okay.
Yep.
And what's your price point on this one?
This game is going to be $40.
$40.
Yeah, MSRP is $39.99. Comes with a ton of cool dice. All these 11 punch boards. It's a big, heavy game with lots of cool bits to play with.
That's very cool. All right, that's awesome. That is the Order of the Gilded Compass from Gray Fox Games. See you on the flip side, folks.